Okay, hopefully things are gonna get recorded now. Anyway, so we were. Let me try to open. I thought I did save it. The last class lecture was it? Wicket lecture one, right? Oh, no, I don't have it. Anyway, let me see if I have it saved in bright space. So content class lecture. Yeah, I do have it here. Download, open. Alright, so let's do a quick review. This is in record. Jason, if you are watching, what we have done in last class, we have this selection structure started. First we started with this find function. So we had two matrices x and t. X is the location where the temperatures are t, and both are matrix, means like in multiple position you have temperatures, 13 positions in total. So we did like several things, means we find at what location this temperature 200 is, at what locations the temperature is in within the range like 100 to 150. Okay, what location temperature is more than 100. We did all of this, and then we started with this if else statement. We started with the basic one first, the quadratic function solution, and then we started with if else for this temperature dependent outgear options. Okay, and the thing that we'll be studying today is the switch case. Now switching case is very similar to if and else. Okay, but it's just have different syntax. Okay, that's pretty much it. So let's start with that. Everyone's ready? All right, let's start with our agenda today. Switch case. You may want to open the .m file that you started working last class. Okay, and then keep adding stuff here. The one that you started in last class, the one that you had .m file, remember the, yeah, that one. You may keep adding stuff over there. So let's start with the first thing, which is you want to do switch and case statements. So what is switch and case statement? So you have this SAM data. So all homework grades equal 100, 30, 90. Assume you have these three things. Okay, and then all test grades. Now these are the variables. Make sure there is no space when you're typing them, right? And you have these two different test grades, they're like 67 and 98. You may see it better now. It is a little smaller before. Obviously I would like to put a semicolon after each of them. You just define these two metrics first, okay, by some data like, you know, the homework grade, test grade, those sort of thing. So your job is to create a switch case statement. Okay, just very similar to if else statement. Okay, so you want to create a variable called choice, which we will give one of two value, which are homework grades and test grades. Okay, so define this choice variable. Okay, choice equal, say like this, homework grades. This is a variable that you defined, right? And you want to put a note here. So we don't have to call this choice. Okay, and then start this switch, and then put the choice variable just immediately after that, and then case, under this case you would like to use this bracket, right? And inside this bracket you would like to put this homework grades. Now make sure it's not that bracket, it's the second bracket, okay, that wiggly line. So what you're doing, by putting the choice option inside this case, you are, let me put the note, you are putting this condition to execute when this choice equal homework grades. All right, and then you want to do homework grades so homework average equal to mean and all homework grades. Remember, you did define that all homework grades, so you are doing the mean of these all homework grades. Okay, and then you want to do another case, and then on this case you want to put this test grades, and you want to put the test average, right? That's the new variable you define, and you want to use this mean function. Under this parenthesis you want to type this all test grades. Okay, all right, so I have a syntax error. Do you guys have this thing running? It's running. I have a syntax error. I don't know what it is happening here. I'm gonna figure it out. Excuse me. It does says line number 157. I don't have anything on line number 157. Possibly it has some issues. Okay, let me do one thing. Whatever I have so far, I'm gonna copy it, make a new one, and then run it. This is week 8, lecture 2. Let's do it in download, is fine. Let's see what is happening. It's still the line 1 or 2. Something happened here, I guess. Just, Let's go one by one. So CLC, okay, clear, close all. Okay. So after this, code is running perfect. Then what is the issue? The issue is here. Asif, copy, paste. Here is the zero. Syntax error, else. Enter the RC. This is where this problem is happening. It's running for all of you, right? Temp equal if temp, okay, temp is where else it should be right. Oh, that's why I didn't quite finish it. You guys did finish that. Okay, so let me fix that. So fprintf, this is option 5, and then you have and here. Okay, now it should be working. Okay, still the syntax error. Was it running for you guys?
I got the 73.33. Is that so?
Yeah, I had a syntax error. Just one second. I don't know what is happening. Let me fix it. So last class I didn't quite finish it. That was the reason. Okay, so and else fprintf percentages as temp. Alright, so let me see. Alright, I'll see option 5, option 4, 3, all those. Yeah, everything is correct. And option 1, else if, else, and if. I'm not seeing any issues. So temp. Alright, so save, I guess, and then this command window. Now what? It got all confused. Finally it came. Alright, so line 90, column 1. Column 1. This is where it get confused. So if else else if, else and. So printf, printf, and I might have a syntax error somewhere. So I'm not seeing it here in this if else statement. And else then and else if this temp equal to input, enter the degree, don't need it, stand side option on to 3. Okay, let me do something interesting, just this one. So clear CLC, clear, close all, then paste. Yeah, this is what the problem is happening. So temp enter the outside temperature and syntax error. You guys have the same syntax error? No? Interesting. Why I have this syntax error? You had the input, right? It's so weird. So input, I might have syntax error. What is the syntax error? Input. Let me do it something. So input, okay, so x equal input. So let me do it this way. So temp equal input. So and enter the outside temp. Okay. Yeah, it is not having any issue here. Why it is having an issue? Okay, so let me do it. So say like 20. Alright, so let me come here, temp, input. Alright, let me see. Save, run the code. Option 5 is inside. Okay. Outside temperature 50. And now it's working. So this weird thing, option 5 is staying set. Why this option 5? Stay inside. You should wear. Oh, now I understand. Because of that, it is showing. All right, now it makes sense. I'm sorry, guys. Finally, it did work. I don't know whatever the weird reason, the input function that I did type was an issue. So it is working now. It was working for all of you guys, right? So what you're seeing here when you're running the switch case, you know one thing, when you can use the input function, don't use the forward slash n. You can use the fprintf, use the forward slash n. So the purpose of the forward slash n, I mean in Octave, in MATLAB it does work anyway. Okay. So the purpose of forward slash n is going to the next line. Okay. Switch case. Like this. So let's now focus on this switch case statement. Okay, so you should be seeing the homework grades 73. Are you seeing that? You're seeing that, right? Ethan, you're not seeing it. I don't know. Let me run it again. Alright, so I don't know, for whatever reason, did I put the CLC at the beginning? I did. Switch case, switch, choose. Great. Did you see that, Ethan? On your end? Okay. So choose the choice is the homework grades and choice is the homework grades. Okay. So the homework grades. Huh? What is the issue?
There's I didn't capitalize grades twice. I capitalized up here, but you didn't capitalize up here.
So what is happening here? You have the choice. So this can be chosen, the choice option, whatever you want. Like I do have some more case switch and case example. Okay. Alright, let's work with them and then you'll have better idea about what we're doing. Okay, so let me get my notes. So the second one would be, let me start with the syntax first, okay? The switch case statement. I'm sorry, we lost some time because of the technical difficulties that I had here in my end. But anyway, so the general syntax for switch and case code, right? What are the general syntax? So first of all, you have this switch variable, and then you have this case option 1, and then you have this code to execute if variable equal option 1, and then case option 2 have this code to execute if variable equal option 2 and so this is the syntax, and the note here is can add as many cases as you want. Okay, so then the next example would be example 4. So you want to create a push button menu for a restaurant. Okay, you'd like to clear all the screen and everything whatever you did so far, and let's start with the entry menu of a restaurant. So entry, and then the menu would be, menu by the way is a function, so the argument of your menu function would be you'd like to put some choice, right? What are the choices you have? So like you have steak, salmon, veal and veggies, right? So let's start with the steak, and since all of them are character, make sure you have under those code for each of these text, right? So salmon, and after every options you should have a comma. So veal, veggies, right? So this, let me put a comment, so this will make a pop-up because this menu option is such a thing. The menu function will gonna pop up a push button menu. You're gonna see it once you're done with the typing. Alright, so this way menu works. It will return a 1 if you press the first button 2. okay, and 2 for the second. You got the idea, right? And so on. So on. Alright, so you'd like to start with switch first, and then the entry. Remember, the entry is a variable that you choose. Like in last switch case statement, you had what, like take a look here, you have the choice was the variable, right? So the same way here the entry is a variable, and this menu function will gonna create a pop-up where you would be choosing these 4 options that you had, like the salmon, veggies, steak, and veal, right? So then obviously after this you'd like to start with the case. Now there are 4 cases, right? Each of those the menu function will gonna assign them with a number, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So now 1 is obviously steak, 2 is salmon, 3 is veal, and 4 is veggies. So case 1 would be steak. If you have a case 1, then you'd like to put it in display, like by using the fprintf, and then you'd like to put something interesting, okay? Say like steak, it's what for dinner, or something interesting, okay? And you want to put a /n for the next line, okay? And by the way, that is your case 1, okay? And now you'll be doing kind of the similar thing. Before you do that, you'd like to assign a variable, say like C, which is the cost for steak, right? Say like $10.99. Nowadays you won't be getting a steak for $10.99 anywhere. Maybe you have to spend like $20.99 or $19.99, right? How much is the steak? What is the cheapest price of the steak now? Where you can get the cheapest? I mean, Norwood, there is a steakhouse. Anybody tried this steak recently?
Walmart, I think like $15 in one of those states.
$15 now. I don't know when you guys recall it last. I mean, I moved to US 20 years ago, right? I mean, actually 21 now, 2005. This is 2026, right? At that time, things were like, I would say, less than half the price that whatever you're seeing now. That much inflation happened, especially after the COVID. Anyway, so 1999 sounds a reasonable price. Yeah,
At a restaurant,
at a restaurant, right? I mean, you won't be getting a 1999 steak in a good restaurant for sure. You have to probably spend 50 or 60 or even 100. Okay, so crazy things. All right, so that's obviously the first case. Now the second case would be case 2, right? And then I'll be doing a cheating now. So I'm gonna be copying this, right? This fprintf thing. And the second option, case 2, is for the salmon. So you'd like to put something very interesting. I don't know, maybe salmon, a grizzly mean, okay. And then you'd like to, I mean, salmon would be a little cheaper, but not that much nowadays. Without, maybe if it's a small salmon, $14.99, very very small one, okay. And then I'm gonna do a little bit more cheating, like just copying and pasting. And the third option would be veal, right? Like to put something more interesting. So like veal, you calf killer, something like that. And veal won't be that cheap, maybe $17.99, right? And finally, the veggies. Nowadays, even veggies are expensive. I've seen restaurant all hike up the price. So I don't know. The veggies could be something around like $13.99 or something. So veggies. Let me put something interesting. Veggies. You are eating my food's food. All right. So there's another interesting comment that you'd like to put. You want to put comments like pretty much by doing the exclamatory sign on everywhere. All right, and then the price wage would be the cheapest, I guess. Let's say $30.99, right? And then you're going to end this, and then you'd like to display finally, right, based on the choice from the fprintf, like how much it cost. That C variable, remember, will define that variable. So you'd like to say like the meal cost is, obviously that's not the meal cost only, you have to spend like other things, the appetizer, dessert, and tips, and then oh man, the tax and so many things. By the time you're coming out from the restaurant, maybe you're spending $50. All right, so the dollar sign percentage 4.2 f /n does works, and then comma, and then C. Don't forget to put the comma and the C, the variable where this percentage of f, that this 4.2 f. Everybody remember what this 4.2 f means? Ethan, Ben, you guys remember what does this 4.2? First of all, this percentage of f is not percentage of s. Percentage of s for, we had used it before. What it is for? S is for string, okay, character, text, right? Percentage of f for is the numeric variable, fraction, right? So on the f, percentage of 4.2 means like, you know, 2 decimal places, 0.2, right? And 4 up to 4 precision, right? Understand? So run it that, run it and see if you can get a restaurant menu. So don't forget to put the dollar sign. When you put the dollar sign is going to get displayed just like this. And I have another example of switch case and in this class. Many options are up. It is the menu options. Oh, you're going to push the tablet. Some option. Put your input for state. You're going to choose the state. You're going to choose that option. It's asking you some value. Enter. Okay. Choose oh yeah, I know that. You gotta put your, what case you're talking, right? This entry, menu option, you're gonna have all those options, right? You choose one, based on that choose the option. Say like this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Understand? So this needs to be case 1. This needs to be case 2. Alright, so I do have one final thing, case and switch and case statement, and then we'll be done for today. Okay. You guys want a break? Okay, good. Alright, so let me run it. It's running now, Ben, for you? Okay, so let me run it myself. Like last time I had an issue of running stuff. So select 20. Okay, so 7. Okay, it's running for me as well. Perfect. Alright, so no. So editor, we are here. Let me open the so that's another example problem, example number 5, and then that's it. So example number 5. So on that example, what you'd be doing, you'd be creating a program, right, to prompt the user to enter the number of candy bars he or she would like to buy. The input, so that's the problem description. Input will be a number, so you want to use the switch case structure to determine what the bill where one bar equal 0.75, 2 bar, these are the price I'm saying, right? 2 bars are 1.25. Again, nowadays you can get a chocolate but that cheap. Things are getting so expensive. 3 bars, the minimum salary get increased as well, so 1.65, and more than, so nowadays the way it is happening, you could be either rich or poor, nothing in between. Okay, so the minimum salary get increased, you are still poor. The rich doesn't have to worry about the money. The middle class doesn't have any money because the blue collar job doesn't have that much of salary increase. So more than 3 bars equal 1.65 plus 0.3, 0.30 multiplied by the number of orders ordered. I'll explain it more, just one second, let me finish the problem writing a description. Alright, so that's it, that's the problem. So what we're doing here, we are writing a program which you're gonna create number of candy that you'd like to buy, number of candy that you'd like to buy from a store, and based on number of candies you'd be seeing the display how much that you how much that you owe, right? So the bar price structure is 1 bar is expensive, 2 bar is little less expensive, 3 bar is little less expensive, and from beyond 3 bars the things are getting much more cheaper, like each bar is 0.3 or 30 cents. And that doesn't make sense, right? If you go to buy anything, you buy more, the things get cheaper because you have to understand, there's this overhead due to the employees, right? If the employee gets involved to give you one candy, that employee can give you multiple candies at the same time with less amount of time, right? That's how they get the money. Anyway, so that's the price structure that you have. So now you are trying to write a program which is gonna give you the options of how many candies that you want, and it will gonna tell you like what would be the price for that many candies. Okay. So the way you can do it, first you'd like to write a prompt. Okay, a prompt that user to enter the number of bars they want to buy. Okay, and then the bars is the variable that you can define, and you can use the prompt as like input, right? Just like anytime you use anytime you need some feedback from the user, and then you would like to write please enter the so number sign here, number of bars you want to buy, right? And then you can do a forward slash if you're using the MATLAB, but you know Octave doesn't take forward slash for input function, so you don't want to do that. And then I'd like to do set up the code to filter this into one of 4 cases. Why you have 4 cases? Like you see, the price structure is 1 candy one price, 2 candy different price, 3 candy completely different price, and anything beyond 3 you have equation for that, how the candy price will gonna get decided. Okay, so basically you have these 4 cases, right? You want to deal with that. Okay, so the way you can do it, you want to use this if else structure, right? Selection structure, and it says like if number of bars are less than 3, then you'd like to use what? Like put a comment here, use options 1, 2, or 3. So now how do you know which options it is? So the way you can do it is very easy. You define an option variable and you would like to say bars, because in the input you are getting how many bars you want. It could be 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'd like to pause here now, see if you are with me. Ethan and Ben, you guys understand what I said so far? So option is the variable where you would be defining like this bars, which is 1 to 3. Then you'd like to put a note here, you'll use option to select which case is executed. Alright, and then you'd like to do else, and on else you'd like to write option equal 4, and then you'd like to write if more than 3 bars, go to case 4, and then you'd like to end this, right? And then your actual switch case statement. So like you wanna create a switch case structure to calculate the cost. Okay, so you have this switch, then option, and case 1, and fprintf. So you brought 1 bar, the cost is for 1 bar, the cost is 0.75, and then you'd like to put a /n, because remember the fprintf does work /n. And Ben, don't forget to put this number like case 1, case 2, those things. And I'm gonna do this time a cheating, which is like simply copying this fprintf. I don't want to write the whole thing again. So this time I'm doing 2 bars, and the cost would be, what is the cost for 2 bar? 1.25, right? And then I'm gonna keep doing the cheating. So simply just go with the case 3, and you have these 3 bars. Here's the catch, you like to put a s after the bars, okay? And then the 3 bar is gonna cost you 1.65, and I'll keep doing the same cheating, but I can't do it any further. I have to write a equation for case 4, okay? So on that one, number of bars needs to be percentage of 0.0 f bar, and then here the cost is 0.2 f dot, and then you're gonna have these 2 different variables. One is the bars and the cost. You did define the bar before, and you now have to define the cost variable. So cost would be equal 1.65 plus 0.3 multiplied these bars minus 3. So that's the equation that you got to do here, right? And then you're gonna end this switch case statement. Okay, now this and needs to be obviously here. Okay, and then you'd like to save it. You'd like to run it, and you'd like to see if it's running. If it's running, you guys are done. So again, explaining it, what is happening? You are doing the switch case statement, right? You are displaying, depending on number of bars that the customer is buying, what will be the price. And 1 through 3 is very simple, like the price is fixed. That's why in case 1, 2, and 3, you have just the price directly displayed, and that's from the problem statement. But the case 4, we're going to take care anything beyond number bar 3, means if you are buying say like 4, 5, 6, or whatever amount of bars, and they give you the equations like anything beyond like 3 bars, your additional bar costs 30 cents. So you obviously have the bars variable where you are defining how many bars that you're trying to purchase. So you got to multiply this 0.03 or this 30 cents with this number of bars after these 3 bars. So bars minus 3, and then we'd like to display an fprintf. The final fprintf is very interesting. You see, you have this 2 pointer, 2% of f, right? And then you have these 2 variables, bars and cost. Those needs to be after the code and by comma for sure. And these 2 variables or pointers that you have it inside this code needs to be with percentage of f. Now you do have this 0.2f or 0.0f, that is representing how many of decimal places you'd like to control. Usually number of bars can be like fraction, right? Can you buy a fraction bar? No, it needs to be a whole number, right, Ben? So that means you want to put a percentage of 0.0f. So that 0 is restricting, you can get a fraction bar or chocolate bar. And the same thing is for money. Can you get the money like beyond penny? Penny is the smallest unit, right? That's why you'd like to put 0.2f, right? Only 2 decimal places. Ben, you understand? Yeah. So there are so many details involved. Is it running for you? I hope you notice all the details. That's what I'm saying, right? You will notice all the details. So you have this number. Instead of bars, you use that number. What will be the option? This is equal to bar. Okay, you gotta change the
Man, you say you want to move on?
yeah, I see that. If I is capital,
I don't know, that's about it.
then it has. Yeah.
Oh, it's working.
No, yeah, I see that. Actually, maybe even 1 week there is 2 equals.
That's really weird. I had that exact issue and I changed it and it worked.
Okay, save it then.
I'm pressing F5 to save it.
Yeah.
Okay. Puzzle stopped.
You really would like to see if you have an open 3, so like 4 or 5, so the calculation is working. Is it working? 10. Enter messages. Save it. Run it. Syntax error. Why? Why? One service. Save it. Don't put me up here. Oh, it's taking. Oh, this is taking. Okay, good. It's taking. Okay, so say 4, put 5, 5, 5. No, I'll put, yeah, 5. 3.5 cost us. That is not correct. What is that? And you have this put like percentage of point OF, it should be 0.0F. See? Okay, for some temperature, some choice, 5. No way! You got 2 bars. Why you got 2 bars? You got 5 bars. Okay, let's see what you've done. Okay, so bars. First of all, you got to figure out why you have your 2 bars came again. You got 2 bars. So the bars, you put the bars of ions. Do you have them? Just the bars. The bars is 2. Why the 2 is showing up? Please enter the number of bars you want to buy. Oh yeah, no problem. Everyone put a percentage sign here. Anytime you have a pointer, you must want to put a percentage sign. Percentage, yeah, that's the pointer. Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
don't have a percentage.
I don't. That my manual work. I didn't run it. There's the typo for mine. Okay. Program doesn't have mercy for me either. Yeah, now you're getting it. Sorry, I had a typo. And that was kind of confused with my typo. So let me fix it first because Jason might be watching this later. So there is a percentage sign. Mass needs to have a percentage sign. Okay, and then I'd like to run it for sure. Let's see if it's running for me. Enter the outside temperature, which is 20, and then the stake in mode. Select number of 5, and yep, it's working perfect. Are you getting like 2.25?
Yep.
All right, so that's it from me today. Okay, what I'll be doing, I'm stop recording, maybe doing a quick wrap up. Okay, I mean before do quick wrap up, I don't know if Jason is watching listening. So what we've done here, we're officially finishing up the selection structure. We started with if else statement, we started with if else statement in the last class, right? We started with switch case statement today, and we've done like 2 examples. The second one is pretty interesting. It does have both the if else and the switch case, right, in the one same problem. Idea is very simple. Depending on the cases, how many cases or different scenario you have in switch case, you have to start with that variable which goes with that case. Okay, in the problem.
I think it was too bad.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, it's fine. We are done with the class, and then we can leave as well. I'm just putting it for Jason as a record.
No, I say I don't think switch. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's actually. I understand it more than I did like the user function one.
Yeah,
I think I understand it more.
yeah, and then I started to the homework. So you may ask me a question next class if you have any. I forgot when is the deadline for the homework.
It says Monday.
Then you don't have any option. You can get a hold of me when I'm in the office. Okay, if you have any question. All right. Okay, that's it.